Hello, 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 and welcome to Get Comfortable by Lizana-Prodeaux. I am the voice behind Get Comfortable. Wanted to take the time out to say thank you to all the supporters of the channel and welcome to the Get Comfortable family. If this is your first time, we appreciate you and we thank you for being here. Now let's jump right into the message. So today I had a very difficult day mentally, and I don't think it's something that we talk about a lot, but just maneuvering through a day that's difficult mentally, not difficult physically or I mean emotionally. It was difficult also, but more so mentally. I've been moving around a lot, taking care of a lot of things. I have a lot of responsibilities right now that I'm working through and just trying to tie up loose ends, become a better version of myself each and every day. And sometimes it's really, really hard when everything else seems like to be going haywire and you don't really know how to bring it back to the ground. And so that's exactly where I was today. And then I allowed my thoughts and outside influences to get the best of me about some thoughts that I'm having about certain situations, and it made for just a difficult afternoon. I set out to do some things. They didn't go through because the weather wouldn't permit me to complete them, and I just felt like I hadn't accomplished what I set out to do. My workload is now a little heavier for next week because I wasn't able to complete some assignments. And the problem that I'm having right now is that I need rest and I need some peace and I need some quiet and I need time to just be alone with my thoughts and hear myself think. And if you're like me and you're constantly on the go, making things happen, always available for others, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but you are the one that sometimes is viewed as making problems seem minimal. Like your life could be hectic, your life could be a lot, but yet you move through it in a way that people really don't know how you handle it all. Those are the people sometimes that you need to check on the most. And then on top of that, those are the people who get checked on the least. I happen to be one of those people. But luckily for me, I do have family and friends who make sure that I am okay and that I'm fine. But there were times in the past when I didn't have that, and I had to have conversations with my loved ones to say, hey, I know I have a way of making things seem like I have it all together, but I don't. And I'm human and I need you guys to check on me at times. But today wasn't one of those days, but that is a message for somebody because I had been there. For me, it's just like not having time to myself to process. I even had a friend reach out to me today, and I always talk to this friend. But she reached out to me and I told her I would call her back in a few minutes. But I was so exhausted, I ended up like falling asleep and never calling her back, which is typically not me. Take some time, whoever this message is for, or whoever can resonate with this, take some time for yourself. There's no there's no joy in being burnt down, burnt out, frustrated, not knowing when your next piece of rest is. So for me, I was going to have some scheduled free time coming up this next week. And I have an assignment that is going to run over all of that additional free time that I'm used to and that I was awaiting patiently. And now I have other obligations I need to fulfill. And I'm not happy about that. And that in itself frustrated me. Like it frustrated me to no end. And I think I've just been sitting in there all week long because I am a person who enjoys their free time, because I give so much to others that I really enjoy just being free and able to break down thoughts, achieve personal goals, actually sit down and want to do that. Tend to my journals, my goal journal, and then my journal to God. I haven't had that time, and I have like 90 million things that I'm trying to do this weekend, and I'm afraid I'm not going to get them all done. But boy, I'm trying to start doing more for myself, and it requires me to show up this weekend and like overperform to get these things done. And I don't know if I'm ready, because mentally I'm not there, but I have to push myself to be there, because I have to show up for myself, because running around and having this life that I did pray for at one point, it has become burdensome. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're going to say it is today. It has become a burden. It has become a lot at times, and I'm just leaning on God, asking for him to help me navigate this life that I prayed for, and knowing that I am strong enough to deal with and weather the storms, the highs and the lows of what it is that I'm asking for. And I am asking for more, so I know that means more work. I'm grateful in this space because it allows me so much freedom financially to do what it is that I'm doing. And it also, the hard work that I do, it does pay off. I'm opening doors for myself that I never see myself opening. I'm able to do things and purchase things that I didn't think that I would be able to. And it's not just because of my hard work, it's because of other things that I've been able to explore because of the work that I'm doing now, but it's just a lot. So I didn't mean to ramble on, but for whoever this message is for, whoever resonates with this, please, I urge you to take time for yourself. Show up for you. Life does get busy, and sometimes in that busyness, we forget about ourselves. We set goals aside, we push them to the back burner, and we're left bombed out and depleted. And that's just not a place that we want to be, because you can't pull anything from emptiness and from darkness and from nothing. Okay? If you are experiencing this, take time away from the scene. I'm already thinking 2 weeks out the time I'm going to need. And I'm going to take that time, because I've been saying that I am and I haven't. But I have to, because if I don't, I'm going to be on edge. So today, I was going to order groceries, and I still am. But instead of ordering everything that I needed, I decided to take myself to a really small, quaint market, get all of my produce and a few other items, and I took my time, which, if anybody knows me, I don't take my time to do a lot of things because I don't have the time. But I strolled through that market, and it was small, but I strolled through there for a good hour, and I took my time. And it felt good, and it gave me that reset that I needed. Sometimes it doesn't have to be this huge production of time for yourself. It doesn't always have to be a spa day. It doesn't always have to be manicures and pedicures and a change of a hairstyle or something like that. It doesn't even have to be exercise, but that's great also. Just showing up for you could be going to the market and taking your time to pick the things that you want from that market for your household. Being selective about what you pick and choose. It could be taking a walk. It could be listening to some music or taking an aimless drive with no destination. It could be that, but something that allows yourself to zone out. I think I mentioned this not too long ago, where I'm not a person who watches television often. But when I do get a chance to watch television, I allow myself to fall into something that has nothing to do with what I have going on. I don't want to watch anything that has something to do with my lifestyle. I want to be so far out into whatever is on that screen that I don't even think about the stuff that I have going on, because I need that. I need sometimes senseless or mindless or just abstract things sometimes to pull me away from where I'm at. Not because my reality is dark or upsetting all the time or frustrating. It's not because of that. It's simply because we need our brains to turn off sometimes, and not just when we sleep. I need to not like have a plan to plan to plan to plan. Sometimes I just need to just decompress, and I'm sure you do. And so if you are listening to this, you hear this, take it and hold it and apply it to your life the way you see fit, the way it makes sense for you. Going to the market might not make sense for you. Exercising might not make sense for you. Listening to music might not make sense for you to zone out, but whatever it is that allows you to do that within reason and that is healthy for you, do that. Do that. Okay? Sorry for rambling on, but I know my experiences are not just my experiences, or they are mine, but they're similar to others. So if I can share an experience with you guys and it hit home for you, then maybe it will give you a different perspective on how you look at things and how you see yourself. I'm going to leave you guys with one more thing before I close this out. I was talking to my advisor maybe 3-4 months ago, and like one of my major issues has been running. Sorry about them notifications. Running, and at a high capacity. And I'm talking to them, and they're like, if you how fast does your car go? Like, what's the max miles per hour that it can go? And I'm like 140, 160, something like that. I don't know. So she's like, well, how long do you think you could drive your car at that capacity? 140 or 160 miles per hour. How long with your foot to the ground do you think the car will continue to roll and be okay? And I told her, not very long. But it still didn't register to me that she was comparing this to how fast and how reckless I had been with my own life without taking time to process, or just time for myself, you know? And she's like, well, so why do you think that you can? You can do that and not receive burnout. And I looked at it a different way, but as you can see, I'm still struggling with it. You know, and I did tell you guys that I have people around me that help me, allow me to make my life easier because of the capacity of responsibilities that I have. But it makes it easier, and sometimes it's just what I have to deal with. However, that analogy is true for so many. You can't continue to run. You're going to crash at some point, and things will suffer or get thrown to the wayside. So please don't allow that to be you. Okay? Take that, understand it, hold it, and apply it the way you see fit. I love you guys to the moon and back, but of course, God loves you more. Please take care.